The Oxford Dictionary defines bash as a heavy blow, a party or social event, or an attempt at something. But in Australian, it means a collection of old cars and motley crews bribing and cheating their way through the outback to raise money for disabled and underprivileged children.
We're very excited about what Variety Club do. It fits very much with our ethos of being a good corporate citizen, and it provides fun along the way. So yeah, it's just a good vehicle for both of us. Excuse the pun, but yeah, it's a good vehicle.
The annual Variety Club Bash is on again. It's a uniquely Australian event, a mix of Mad Hatter's tea party coupled with a mystery drive through the bush, all in the name of charity.
Hello, Len, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
For those in the know, the bash is almost a way of life. But for everyone else, it's a bit of a mystery. So, what's it all about?
It's not a race.
Just a drive in the bush with your mates.
Trashy old cars, spend the rest of the year putting them back together.
Whenever I have this much fun, I'm either getting divorced or arrested.
The fact that you can bribe, lie, cheat, steal your way through it.
Just to get here, that was a big effort.
The kids get the biggest thrill out of the people that dress up.
We just make everyone laugh.
So we've got a fridge full in the back of the car and have a good time.
And get this old truck on the road again.
Raising money for a lot of worthy kids.
And from now on, the fundraising stops and the fun starts.
Peter Longhurst is Bash Director, responsible for designing and running the event, and to a large extent, defining what it is and isn't.
Best way to describe the Bash, it is an outback motoring adventure. It is that above all things. And of course, it is our principal fundraising effort for the Variety Club all around Australia. Some of the people we travel with have been affected in their own lives by tragedy with regard to illnesses with their own children or relatives' children, and that has given them a mission in life to raise funds, and they do it via the Bash.
Thank you very much indeed.
Others haven't been so affected, but feel that they would like to have an outback motoring adventure, and given that this outback motoring adventure raises funds for children, they see that as well. What a wonderful way to be able to have that outback adventure and help people in the process.
I imagine this is the easiest part of the trip.
Yeah, I'd say it is too. There's a bag on the back of that.
A bag? Oh, goodness me.
Lee Estons comes from Moree in the central northwest of New South Wales.
Variety Hall of Fame.
For her, the bash started 12 months ago when she ran into long-time basher Stuart Telfer.
Last year we were heading towards Pilliga. We went to a little school for morning tea, and Lee comes up and she said, "Are you Stuart Telfer?" I go, "Yeah, I am." She says, "Oh, they all told me to come and see you. You know, like, I want to go on this. I want to go in your car." So I gave her one of our cards and said, "Look, you need to ring the Bash office and this is what you need to do. It's not easy," and da-da-da. She said, "Oh, I want to do it."
Well, our entry to the Variety Club Bash started from a vision from a long time ago. We wanted to do some fundraising for fun, but also help our district. The Variety Club offers many sort of opportunities in that if you raise money in your area, pretty much the money seems to come back. Was that fun? Huh? Fun?
She will affect other people. She has brought 2 other girls with her, and they will go home to Moree and talk. I bet there's another car out of Moree, because Lee will go home and spread the gospel of the Variety Club Bash.
So you've got a present high range?
Go.
Well done!
Now it's 5.3 and we're going to hit the dirt now.
We're country women. We wanted to represent rural Australia and our town, Moree.
The district have been very, very generous. And the local industries, cotton industry, wheat industry, cattle industry with our wee bolla bolla on the top there, and some banks and CWA come in too. The support has just been overwhelming.
Pleased to know our temperature gauge is now stable.
Lee, along with teammates Catherine Madden and Myrna Harris, are virgin bashers, which means they've never done one before. So they had to start from scratch.
Sound corner, blind corners. Yeah.
Apart from raising the entry fee, they also had to find a car. They're handy.
We've purchased a pre-bash car in November last year. Had been in 2 bashes before, but it was stored in an unregistered chook yard for 5 years. Catherine's husband and myself drove it home, and that was sort of character building in itself. We made it easily, but it boiled half the way. We hope we finish. That's all we want to do. We just want to finish.
There we go. I didn't see a track.
Bye.
It was quite exciting when I learnt the job was available. Here was this wonderful motoring adventure to go on every year, to be put together every year, a different location to travel to every year. And it's the cause which it supports. It's just magnificent. I mean, how could you say no to it? I designed the event, source all the logistics of the event, survey the event, promote the event. I picked the location, the destination, and the basic route. The surveys themselves can take anything up to 2 to 3 weeks. On many occasions, you'll think what you see on paper looks great and look at a map, but a map doesn't tell you everything. So you go out and try the road, and you might discover it just doesn't work, it just doesn't make sense, doesn't connect, or the road has since been sealed and it wasn't before. So you find yourself backtracking a lot and starting again.
Puppies are go.
The reason why we became involved with the bash was one of my work colleagues had done a bash on numerous occasions, and it's something we'd always wanted to do, to get out there and have a look at Australia. And we said, geez, we'd like to do this. And he said, yeah. He said, well, get out there and do it. And we asked him what it'd cost and how we'd go about it. And he said, all you got to do is raise sponsorship money and donate to the Variety Club of New South Wales. I asked him about the car, and he said, the car's on yourself. You actually have to build the car yourselves. And we basically shopped around. We had a budget. We shopped around, and the car behind us, our Valiant, is about the best car we've seen for value for money. From there, we completely stripped it down. Basically, there's nothing left of the original car except for the body. The interior was stripped out. We've added water sprayers out the back, so unsuspecting mums and kids on the side of the road, we spray them with water. We've got sirens, we have lights, we've got a CD player in the car that plays numerous tunes over the speakers on top. The array of noises that come out of those. And with the bash, other than lights, noise and music is the next biggest thing.
Dirt now. Yeah, now.
Okay. Dirt lights on, dust lights on. Car 18 now on the dirt surface.
Oh, a couple stones here, but cracking a windscreen. Just up there.
Okay. We talked to a couple of other bashers, and they said, well, the best thing is to do is create a theme. You've got to be noticed. That's what it's all about. The kids love you more when you're noticed. So what we done, all 4 of us got together, and we talked to our kids, and kids are in the area in the school, and we said, you know, what would you like to see? If you're out in the bush and somebody turned up, what would you like to see? What's your favourite thing at the moment? And everybody said the Teletubbies. We approached our local school at the very start and told them what we're doing through the P&C and the school council. And where possible, we contacted the school and told the children where we're at, what we'd done the day before.
We're also taking a few photos and sort of downloading them on the computer and sending those as well, so they know what little schools look like compared to the school they're at.
From the picture we've sent you, you can see our close call. What happened, Shelley?
They were turning around a corner, and it was a sharp corner, and they were going too fast.
Contact on.
Oh,
slippery section, hard ride.
And the back wheels came off the road, and then the rest of the car followed it and went down, and they were on their side, and then they flipped over onto the side, so the driver was up in the air, which was my dad.
That's it, turn it all off.
All right, we just come over on the side. Okay. We're sort of here.
Everyone's okay.
Everything's
We hit a bit of mud.
There they are, off the road. Now the next photo, you can see them actually getting pulled back.
This is what you call penance.
I lost the back and it just didn't recover. I tried to bring it back and it just didn't come back, and as a result we slid down the side here, down the embankment, tipped on our side and into the trees here.
You're in neutral.
Back in neutral, handbrake's on.
Hey! Something's a go.
Many of the roads we choose for the bash route, they have to offer a challenge. They can't be so rough that they destroy the vehicles. I mean, it has been done in the past and with regret. And they have to be dirt. Too much bitumen, and the bashers don't like that. And I appreciate why. That little section through the Benai State Forest was a good place to go and enjoy a great run through a little forest area. Well, the other thing about that was the first 2 or 3 times we went through there and surveyed, it was wet and muddy and slippery and sliding. Of course, Murphy's Law, we'd go through in there in the bash, it was dry. We try to keep the distances between overnight stays under 500 kilometres. If there's too many days of travelling too much beyond 500 kilometres a day, you start placing stresses and strains on drivers and on mobile workshops and the support structure for the bash itself.
Meet Eric and Lynn Carswell and their 1958 Goggamobile, Tommy the Tortoise. Boasting 2 cylinders and 400 cc's of raw power, he's the smallest vehicle in the bash.
Our theme is the hare and the tortoise. The car is actually the tortoise, and we're the hare, and also we're like a bash baby, because we're the smallest car in the field.
Oh, left. Turn left. Very nicely done, darling.
The car is going as good as a Goggo can go. It's perfect. It was purring yesterday. I was really impressed, and I took my hat off to Eric. He does all the mechanics.
Well, the main things that can't go wrong, you haven't got any fuel pump, you haven't got any radiator because we're air cooled, you don't have any oil pumps because the oil just sits in your gearbox, you mix your own fuel for your crank and your pistons, you've got an all bath air cleaner which is very good for dust, that's standard.
Petrol gauge is a piece of wood that long. Stick in the tank, no gauge.
No gauge.
And there's plenty of leg room. The engine's in the back of the car, and so leg room's fine for me. It's bouncy, bounce around a lot.
Seats are very nice. Like they wrap around the back and they're deceiving.
It's basic, but we set it up so that we could be as comfortable as possible. But when we get out, it is nice to just sort of stretch the old legs in the back. But it's pretty good. We raised $9,000 this year, which we're very pleased with, thanks to largely to an anonymous donor who just loves the Goggo, wanted it in the bash, and said, how much do you want me to write this cheque for? Pretty well. We also ran a raffle. Macromedia donated a major prize for that, and we've sold lots of chocolates and drinks and different things like that.
It is worth it when you see the kids and you know where the money's going. It's going to variety, it's going to help children. And,
we've met some of the kids that have actually received things, and it's just the most uplifting feeling to know that you're a part of the event that's helped raise some of the money that goes to them. It's really rewarding.
That's what the whole event's about. That's the feeling we get out of it, and that's why we do it. We do it tough. Well, there's a lot of kids out there too that do it tough as well.
Yeah, tougher than we do.
Living in the land that we all call home. Living in the land of Australia.
The Bash route is designed to visit as many remote communities as possible, such as this one at Quambone, a wheat, sheep and cattle town 200 kilometres southwest of Lightning Ridge. A lunch stop at Quambone Public School provides an opportunity for bashers to meet the locals, help them do a little fundraising and to continue the bash tradition of giving.
I know that you wanted some reading material and schemes, and the Variety Club have donated $2,000 towards that, so that's a cheque for you. That's a good start.
The most important thing we can equip our children with when they leave our school is well-rounded literacy and numeracy skills. Some of our children don't have books at home, so by providing them with the correct reading books at school, we're looking to redress that imbalance. Getting that grant will significantly help a number of children in this community.
The reason we built this vehicle, Thomas the Tank Engine, is for years we were trying to come up with something that the kids could identify to and relate to. There's nothing else that is as recognisable as this vehicle.
The man in the black hat is Bruce Maxwell, otherwise known as the Fat Controller of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Steam works by a gate valve we've got on the exhaust pipe, and we pull a lever and that reroutes one of the exhaust pipes. We have, I should add, non-carcinogenic fluids that go into it as they use in theatrical productions. The heat then turns it into smoke, comes out the chimneys. It was an old tow truck that came from Newcastle that a guy gave me that had a tree fall on it, and well, I don't want to say how much money I've spent on it because my wife may see this and she'll know just I've been telling dreadful lies to her for so long about how much it cost. I'm really, really lucky. I've got a tremendous network of friends that have been very, very generous for many years, helped me put this truck together. Well, the trick is you've got to get your minimum entry fee in, and then you hold out what you can for bribes, and you use those bribes at the most suitable time. A guy a couple of days ago there, I think it was yesterday, wanted to pass me on a particular section of road. They couldn't quite catch up to us. When we got to a checkpoint, he said, I'll give you $500 if you hold Rocky here and let me go by. So he used his $500. 500 metres down the road, he had to stop. He paid about $1 a metre to be in front of me for half a kilometre. So, you know, he wasn't using his bribes judiciously.
We tell them that, look, it's not a race, it's not a rally. If that's your idea of what the bash is, better off you go look for another event to play around on. But if you do come with us, we will give you some play.
Ran a breast test on it.
And the bashers say, well, look, okay, I've got a lot of money here for you, but I want some pleasure for that, thank you, and I want to have some fun myself, and I want to have some fun with you. I mean, stinging the officials is always good fun too.
Well, the lunatics last night paid $30,000 to have my hair cut and beard shaved and my legs shaved, so made us one way of extracting some money out of them.
In Lightning Ridge, we said if anyone would donate a laptop and $10,000, one of our oldest and dearest official would have his beard shaved off, which I don't think has been shaved off since before the Vietnam War. God knows what was growing in there beside the beard. And we shaved his head for good measure.
It's a good-looking melon, Brian.
What I didn't know was that everyone loved the idea so much they were tipping him money. so madly that we quickly got up to nearly $24,000 plus a PC.
You touched the moustache?
No. 8:30 a.m. Breakfast is over and it's time to get the bash underway for another day. This morning, it's the turn of the officials to sting the bashers back.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
4 sets of route notes are given out, all different and all wrong.
Just for a small little car, we've got a small little set of route instructions.
You know where we're going? This is car 35. Any ideas?
Nicholas, this is the Mermaids.
How can we help you, mermaids?
Could you just tell us where we're meant to be?
147, take a left here, then a right.
It's only 4.3 k's.
Yeah.
There's got to be another set somewhere.
Suggest you follow us. We'll show you what you had to do, but we did it for you because we're taking pity on you.
We're looking for Lightning Ridge. You see Lightning Ridge?
Yeah, 307, turn left. Just give us another set of instructions. It's got 2 kilometres on it. We've got 2 different bloody instructions.
Excuse me, I'm the new official. Piss off.
19 to 450, you're in the wrong street.
But we got given the orange and we gave them back and now we've got a blue set.
They're all different. It's just a wild goose chase.
But they all at least arrived here at the hot spa baths at Lightning Ridge. And to get their proper route notes for the day, they really have to do something very simple. They can get in that 38-degree water,
Oh, that's not 450. Come on!
or they can come over and bribe their way for a set of route notes. If they get in the water though, there's a nice little McDonald's football in there with their car number on it. All they've got to do is find their ball with their car number and hand it in, and they'll be given a set of route notes. Hopefully the right ones this time.
Righto, we're off. We paid $50 for our route instructions. We're going down the road.
As a rule, bashers don't travel light. Essential paraphernalia includes spare tyres, car parts, camping gear and dinner suits. Giveaways for little kids and the odd liquid refreshment for the big ones.
Good morning. We're doing well, mate. Just packing our software for the day. Give that to the kids.
Then there's aviation fuel for the helicopters, playground equipment for schools, encyclopedias, computer software, numbered footballs, frisbees and 350 Hawaiian leis.
I've got a problem.
When it's all packed up, the baggage of the bash fills 2 40-tonne semi-trailers.
Well, it's all about giving support to all of the cars that go. You know, these are the guys that raise the money, and we're supporting them. We cart all the baggage and stuff for them. We've got everything from beer to biscuits, really.
With the trucks running the same route as the cars, sometimes we get very involved with the cars, like last year where we've a lot of dirt, where we've had to run with the cars. There's a lot of the cars here who have trouble running with us, sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Like that?
Oh, well, some of the cars are slower than what we are, you know, and then they're trying to nurse their cars.
A lot of the cars don't realise how big the trucks are, and a lot of people that drive on the dirt are not fully conversant with it. They like the Tanami Desert and Birdsville Track and up through Cameron's Corner. Some of the road, you know, the roads not this, so most probably have 50 close calls sort of thing, but you don't even remember after them, you know what I mean?
When I first arrived at the Variety Club, I said, try and fill me in on what sort of support we've got, what are our logistics, what can I rely on? And what unfolded was this amazing tale of the donation of time, skill and resources.
I'm the bash doctor, and as one of the officials, it's my job to work to make the bash go smoothly. On occasions we've had a minor accident, or people have had a fall or a minor injury which has needed to be dealt with. We have life support equipment available with us in the helicopter. We have a heart defibrillator machine, we have monitors for measuring the oxygen in the blood of a person who's critically sick. We can give oxygen, we can splint injuries and give intravenous fluids and a wide range of drugs. To be honest, most of the problems we have to deal with are relatively minor, and I hope it stays that way.
New car stopped ahead, everybody's travelling very well. A lot of hilly country for the bashers today, taking pretty slowly through the hills. It's a good road. We're just coming down to inspect a few of the cars.
Andrew heads a medical network called NETS, which provides emergency treatment and transport for newborn babies and infants.
It all seem pretty ship-shape.
Each year he donates his time to provide medical assistance to the bash, but this year he has something extra to give to the maternity unit at Moree Hospital.
From Variety Club to Moree Hospital, here is a cheque for $17,000 for a cardiotachograph machine. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
The cardiotachograph, or fetal heart rate monitor, allows doctors to check the condition of an unborn baby during labour. In emergency cases, the information it gathers can be transmitted to Andrew's team, enabling better diagnosis and a more appropriate response.
At the moment, our most recent piece of equipment is more than 10 years old, and we only have the one monitor. So not only does this huge donation make a difference to upgrading our equipment, also gives us now two monitors, and therefore effectively allows us to monitor two ladies at once or a set of twins. So although the technology is not new, it's been around for 20 or more years, in this day and age outcomes would be severely affected if we didn't have the equipment.
For Lee Estens, arriving at Moree is more than just a homecoming. The cardiotachograph represents a substantial donation to her community and is vindication of her personal determination to do the bash.
It has been the biggest project I think I've ever undertaken. I never realised just how difficult it would be to do something to have so much fun. And we're going to have a good time from here on, and we're thrilled to be able to donate to Variety Club over $36,000, which has come from a small community and some city sponsors, and it just goes to show that rural Australia is alive and well, and Moree is a brilliant town.
As the bash winds its way through the outback, it often passes through areas of local significance. And this Aboriginal burial ground, tucked away in the bush a few kilometres out of town, is a good example. The graves are decorated to highlight significant personal characteristics and are unique to individual family groups.
Some of the decorations are on there of the kids and that child's toys. It's some of the family mementos that people want to place in that grave, so it keeps those memories alive. You'll find returned servicemen's graves in the cemetery, and it's probably historical to know that most of those soldiers would have died before they were citizens of Australia.
Joe runs community-based programs aimed at providing education and employment opportunities for children and young people in the Walgett district.
Well, one of the programs we've been running is a shearing school. We've got 3 young blokes away at that at the moment. We've also got programs where we're trying to encourage kids to learn apprenticeships through work experience with the local garages and shops. And we're also running sporting programs which also give kids things to do, opportunities again to go back to school.
Always on the lookout for ideas to motivate his young workforce, Joe reckons an Aboriginal entrant in next year's bash might be a good idea.
As a part of reconciliation, to put out there in the arena the idea that, you know, we can all live together and we all can be one and we're all Australian. So we're certainly looking at that and investigating it a bit more.
So do you understand that under the new rules of Walgett, giving a school teacher a cheque of only $50 for kids is an offence?
You're joking?
I'm not joking, sir. It is an offence. I'm so mad about that, I'll even go pink on the top of my head if you don't pay more.
Most of the guys, when they really want to have fun, want to bribe the other guy's misfortune.
There's been some classic ones. There was one the other day with the bog hole, and they had a big roadblock set up, and it was $500 to not go through the bog hole. So we paid them $1,000, and the $500 to get past and $500 to hold up the Telstra car, and they had to pay $2,000 to get through. That was the rules we set on our bribe. So you can do whatever you want. I mean, the rules are, there are no rules.
Money, see, I've got to get money to get out of here.
Let's get out and we'll do a deal.
No, we can't do that, no way.
We'll look it up. Oh, yeah, Dak. You better take it out of gear. Hey? Not the handbrake.
We've had one problem. We broke a gear selector a couple of days ago just near Moree, just before I got arrested when we came into town, and got to the checkpoint and got hauled away by the local police and put in jail for an hour or so. That was Ted Pretty getting me back for getting him arrested the day before.
Drug dealer, actually, that's the word.
Speargrass, I hear.
We planted speargrass in an envelope and you'd put it in.
The first day when we left, we presented the Sunshine Coach to the St George School. That was great to see the the result of some of the hard work, not just us, but other sponsors have put together to help them get that coach. But the kids in the bush have a harder time than the kids in the city, and it's great to be able to give them something. And we've been donating satellite equipment to all the schools, and they can actually get the high-speed broadband internet to the school, and actually get the same things the city kids get. It's great.
Currently, Telstra is rolling out high-speed broadband services utilising its satellite infrastructure throughout regional Australia. And we thought it was a great opportunity to introduce it into the general public by offering it to the schools as part of the Variety Bash. It's all yours. Go for your life.
At this school, we use the internet in a whole range of ways. In the curriculum ways it's used in most schools. As a trial school for new basics, technology is integral to our curriculum from grade 1 through to grade 10. But we've also used it very much in terms of staff professional development, sharing our trial developments here across the country, and in conjunction with Telstra earlier this year, we're also doing video conferencing with a school in California.
Yeah, they get about 400 kilobits per second download. That's, 10 times faster than what they get over the normal dial-up phone line, and they can network it through the school.
Well, we've raised about $110,000. We give Variety the entry fee, and then along the way we use the rest of that money to bribe and cheat our way through the bash. So by the end of the bash we will have spent all of that and end up with none. And then it'll be about time to start fundraising again and getting the cars ready for next year.
Woo-hoo! Well, we're now in dust mode. I think it's time we go into town and rob a bank.
I want the bash to go to schools and hospitals so that we visit remote communities or in communities in regional Australia and offer them our fun. We are, after all, street theatre on wheels every day of the week.
There we go, there we go.
We also think a good bash is in the evenings, we put some entertainment on. We are, after all, the Variety Club. The two things we're known for is our work to help children and our connections with the entertainment industry. And those connections with the entertainment industry are very important. So we often take celebrities and entertainers with us on the bash, and we are able to enjoy their talents in marvellous settings.
Paul's Barn at Tenterfield is a typical venue for a good old nighttime bush bash. No floor, no walls or ceiling, but plenty of character.
Materials came from a dance hall, a barn, 4 or 5 old houses I pulled down. The timber is actually over 110 years old. It's been personally hard on myself. I've had one heart attack doing it. I've ruptured a few things, but we're here and I'm happy.
I guess we just have a bargain with the bashes, and so the bargain goes something like this. You work hard all year for me, fundraising for the Variety Club. And when we start on the bash, we'll give you the fun time of your life. And in doing so, we want you to keep some of that money back that you've raised for us, because we'll find great ways to extract it from you. You can bribe us, you can cheat, you can lie, and in fact you can do all the fun things you wouldn't be allowed to do at home, out on the road with us. Everything's done in good faith and with good humour. And if you take it too seriously, we'll fine you for taking it too seriously.
All right, gentlemen, it's decision time. You got 3 options. Through the creek over here. If you get bogged in it, it costs you $1,000 for someone to tow you out.
3/4, if not 80%, of our funds have already been raised and handed over. What we don't know is how many bashes are holding, how many dollars, and what they expect to extract from us. They want privileges. Do they want us They want to start to be the lead car out every day. They want to be at the head of the queue for food every night. They want the warmest bed. They want to be first in the town. They want the hottest shower, and that's fine. And all those things can be had for a price. So many of the roads that we do use are not on your average NRMA or Shell map.
Go for a cable tie.
The best way to find some great roads is go talk to local property owners, go talk to the councils. The councils are terrific, and just start getting some intelligence, gathering intelligence from these sort of people who will quickly understand what you're trying to achieve. Now, Woodoo State Forest was sensational because it gave us that first hill climb section to get into that area, over private property. We had permission from the owner to use his property to do it. And then through those roads again, I think there was about 38 gates the guys had to go through. And of course the rule is if you find it closed, you've got to close it behind you. So many of the gates were closed, so there's guys in and out of cars all day opening gates to get through that area. So no deep vein thrombosis going on there. During the year, one of the wonderful things about the bash is you've got anywhere between 300 and 400 bashes out there fundraising for you.
So how do you open today?
So that provides us with a great source of income, and they accumulate that, and as they accumulate they send it off to us and we credit it to their car. So they run like an account with us and the money accumulates in there. But by the time the bash leaves town, they do have to have a minimum amount of dollars in. I think this year was $7,000. And they keep about 1,000, some keep a lot more, back to use as bribes along the way.
This day we've got a bridge toll. The cars are coming through the forest area here and found this nice location, and we're extracting some money in a normal fashion from all the bashers they go through this area. Make me an offer.
Well, what about if we do this? We give you some money from the AWB, we give you some from Cotton Australia, see our wheat and our cotton, and I think we could give you a cheque from the CWA, the Country Women's Association. How's that?
That sounds all right to me.
Well, the rules are, of course, there are no rules. That's, you know, that's how it's got to be. Like, take officials, for example. No, I don't want to take any official anywhere, but they have a role to play. And it's our role to make sure that their role is disturbed.
There we go for the Variety Club of Australia, New South Wales. Thanks, Peter, and thanks very much.
Oh, we've been up to 5,000 this morning, individual cars. But we know the others who are husband-wife team or individuals who are doing it, not on a shoestring, but they're doing it with a basic monies base, and we have to respect their abilities to pay as well. So everyone's happy. They know we're not going to screw them for anything they haven't got. And people are very happy to give them money because they know where it's going.
Morning, good morning.
How was that run?
That was very good, very interesting.
I think it was indeed. And some money for us.
Yes.
That's what I'd like to see.
Actually, I gave him a cheque with $5 in it and he thought it was $500. I put a very small dot. But then it cost us some Sydney water.
And do you take credit cards?
We try to. We do have an SPOS sign here today. The e-tag machine's not working, unfortunately, otherwise I would have used that.
Fred, is this pretty typical of the sort of things you get up to in the bash?
Yeah, this is sort of the brain surgery of bashing, isn't it?
What are you brain surgerying now?
It's a brake and centre bolt.
So would this, how would this rate, you know, is sort of on a scale of difficulty for you?
For me, well, it's really, really difficult. Changing a tyre is difficult for me.
We have all these wonderful guys who are mobile workshops on the bashes, 4 or 5, and most bashes, and can be 5 or 6 on the big bashes. The RAAF this year supplied a mobile workshop. They supplied another official vehicle with a paramedic in it. We have a communications system and team, which will be the envy of most governments and militaries around the world. We can set a bash up to travel with a lead car 700 kilometres ahead of the last guy in, and know where everyone is and be in communications with all that group via our official vehicles up and down the line. And down the back of the bash we have sweep, OV5.
Radio base, OV5, over.
OV5, go ahead, Greg.
If someone has a failure, the sweep is there to make sure that they have accommodation, food and everything else that's needed to get them back into the event. We carry MIG welding equipment, gas welding equipment, electric welding equipment, compressed air for driving tools and tyres and that sort of thing. We carry with us a specialist auto electrician. We can do most jobs on the side of the road.
Just trying to pull the guard away from the wheel so we could turn it, but it's bet the whole suspension in by the looks of it.
And we got 3 radios. This one, the UHF is in touch with all competitors. This little one down here is VHF. That's communicating between officials and the aircraft. And the big stick out the front is the HF that goes to radio base, or I can request base to let me talk direct to another official.
Peter Amps, Comms 1, you copy, Pat? Yes, Comms 1, go ahead. 129 kilometres, the road is rough. At the 134 and the 137 kilometre, there is water on the road, and we probably need a workshop up there to assist them.
You're never lonely. The radio doesn't stop. You start off with sausages and bacon for breakfast, and from there on, anything can happen.
Apart from that off-road excursion on day 1, the Teletubbies have had a pretty good run. Until now.
Got our next email. While driving on day 4, we encountered a wild young cattle grid that jumped out and bit the left-hand front tyre.
In the dust, hit the grid up the road, over like that, and hacked up the wheel and the tyre.
You can feel it in the steering when you're driving.
Hitting the cattle grid has put the front wheels seriously out of alignment, making the car extremely difficult to drive.
Car is stopping at 112.
For 3 qualified electricians, the secrets of steering geometry are a puzzling challenge. And the rest of the afternoon is spent learning how to become bush mechanics.
Right, rev it, mate.
No, it's all right. Still see.
Day 4, what a beauty. Yeah, it's better, right?
As darkness falls, another problem. The electrics have failed and nothing works. But this time, the Sparky Tubbies are on familiar ground.
Turn on. Hey! Tubbies are go! It's been a wild one. The crash test tubby, now the Sparky tubby with the hot joints, because of all the loads, like the fridge, the inverter, for the computer, as you can see, for our emails back to home.
What's been the problem?
We started with a hit of a small cattle grid.
We did some repairs and adjustments so we could limp back down to town to Chinchilla. And Chinchilla's actually on our map. There's day 4.
People are absolutely fantastic, particularly in the smaller country areas. In the cities, quite often it's just another job, or park it over there. But in the country, they drop everything and just, there is only one thing to do, get that car back on the road.
We've had a couple of incidences while I've been driving. We had a little slide in the sand, and then we got bogged, and then we got bogged again.
Grab a screwdriver, will you? Thank you very much. No, she cap wasn't on right.
It's a GMC 1943 Chev Blitz built by General Motors in Canada for the war effort, World War II. It was bought by Megalong Valley Bushfire Brigade in the Blue Mountains as the first bushfire tanker in the Blue Mountains back in 1954. They paid £100 for it back then.
Thanks, Phil, thanks over.
At 58 years of age, the Blitz is by far the oldest vehicle in the Bash. Decommissioned in 1979, it languished in various sheds for the next 20 years until the Hazelbrook team decided to give it one last run.
It's extremely good as a working vehicle in the bush. It's got a low gearing, a very strong motor that's not built for speed but more for strength, a lot of torque. It has four-wheel drive capability and it has, as I said, a very, very low gearing, so it'll climb walls as long as it doesn't lose traction. And it's not particularly suited to high-speed touring on the open road, but we're managing to get it to do that as well most of the time.
Yeah, clear the pass.
Thank you.
To get it roadworthy, they first had to scour the Blue Mountains for parts and then put in hundreds of hours of hard work rebuilding it from the chassis up. For their first ever bash, the boys have managed to raise a very respectable $13,000. But being volunteer firefighters, they're used to collecting money. And what they're still coming to grips with is the notion of bash bribery.
We got a little bit confused. We ended up sending all our money directly into the Variety Club. We didn't know that some of it should have been held back for bribes and things like that. So we've been very careful about not getting fined, trying not to bribe people as much as we can. We're starting to learn. One of the things for the bash was we put the blue foam cannon on the roof. We figured, yeah, we're going to be slow and everything else, but we're going to have some fun along the way. So the idea was to foam all the officials, but we figured we'd probably get some heavy fines for that. So far we've stuck to foaming the cars and that sort of thing. We've also got outlets on the side so that we can, if we do come across any fires, it can still be used as a fire appliance even though it's not in active service.
After the 11 o'clock start, we took a sneaky shortcut through the dusty outback and we caught up with the group at Auburn School, Queensland Outback, which has currently 5 students.
66 flying for school, 40 zone.
Auburn River, sensational little school. I think it's about 5 to 10 students. When we were doing the survey through there, by just sheer coincidence on that day, there was a school reunion for every man and woman that ever attended that little school. And we went there, we got to meet all these wonderful people who thought it was a wonderful idea that the bash was going to come there and agreed to meet us back there in 12 months' time. That's what we did.
After sighting the roll, you can proceed on down. We've got stew and damper.
Most of the little ones there have got dampers in them.
Well, these big ones here, we just got stew in. We've got close to 200 litres of stew here today.
A little bit more, just the lumps on the top. Oh, God. Oh, thanks. I got... Better than Kellogg's, I reckon.
Oh, my goodness, get a haircut.
We've got a truant officer to make sure you attend school today. If you're trying to hang down at the bar, well, you'll get into trouble. The truant officer will collect you and bring you up. And if you're giving any trouble in class, you could end up in the dunce's corner or you might get flogged.
There's been lots of cake making. We've had lots of support from the locals, which has helped us.
Don't forget the damper.
Stews that everybody is having. We tried to do stew and damper and keep the bush theme happening, seeing as though we're a very small bush school.
Big smile, big smile. There we go.
Who did that? Who did that? Right, you're in trouble now.
To see a small school so supported by such a wide group of people who travelled so far, you knew straight away that this was a place full of can-do people. Go tell them your needs, your wants, your requirements, and your hopes and wishes, and they'll fulfil them all for you.
307 Sloane School Zone. 44 Sloane, there's 179 sensor.
Situated deep in a Queensland state forest, Auburn River is surrounded by marginal cattle country. The building was moved here several years ago by a group of concerned parents who wanted a local school for their kids and were prepared to do something about it. That pioneer spirit lives on.
307 Sloane School Zone.
But in such a small community, it's not surprising that today's handful of parents find it challenging to raise money for basic amenities. That's where the Bash can make a difference. Apart from the fundraising opportunity the lunch stop creates, a thoughtfully targeted contribution significantly improves the quality of education for students like Caitlin, for whom attending school is a challenge in itself.
So, Anne, how far do you live from the school?
Oh, 60 k's.
60 k's. So you have to travel 60 kilometres every day. 120 kilometres there and back every day, eh? You get the bus? No, Mum drives you?
We have had donated the shade cover over the playground equipment. For 2 or 3 parents to raise that amount of money is nearly impossible. With the computers from Microsoft, it allows them access to the rest of the world.
On behalf of the Bash Builders and car 0.25, the GOGO, we've got a full set of encyclopedias.
We don't have an Australian encyclopedia, and for the kids to find information on Australia is pretty difficult out here. So it's opened up to them some more learning experiences, yeah, lots more.
I'm just waiting for the hose. Get the hose. Yeah, okay, I've got the hose. Wait. Something there burning. There it is. Oh, look at that. Pastry cook. Have you been cooking again?
I think that might be overdone.
At one level, the Bash is all about having fun, but its prime objective is to generate much-needed funds for variety clubs' work with disabled and disadvantaged children.
Giddy up, $10.
The B2B Cup for the highest corporate fundraiser is an award keenly sought after. To be in contention, you need to have raised over $100,000. Obviously, a team has to be well connected to get into that league, and only a few are serious contenders on the Bash. One of them is Tip Top.
We've got a team of 4 cars. We've been running them together for a while, and as part of our fundraising activities, we actually bring a lot of our sponsors with us. The bus, of course, it takes 7 people, and we've basically got 4 in each of the other vehicles.
The Tip Top team comprises Zebra the Zephyr, Loafer the Tiger, the Golden Warrior, and this one with the unusual name of the Blue Bus.
It's a J1 Bedford ex-New Zealand school bus, and then it was a prison van, and then it was a forestry commissioned van, and then a hippie owned it. So it's had a pretty colourful life. Anyhow, I brought it over from New Zealand because I've been doing the Variety Club bashes over there for the last 7 years. And brought it home, did a few modifications to it, suspension and exhaust system, that sort of thing, make it sound good.
It's actually got a 350 Chevy in it. I can't recall any school bus ever having that sort of power under the bonnet, so it goes well.
Yeah, I don't think it's the motor, I think it's the gearbox, because it's a 10-speed, 5-speed with a splitter, so you've really got a gear for every situation. Car 680, just broken its engine mount in half, so we just welded it back up.
Half the reason he's on bashing is he loves fixing cars, and he's very good at it. I've seen him do some work out in the bush. Absolutely amazing.
Beautiful. Like I bought one. Hey, they're nice mud flaps, mate. Tip-top's the one.
Going for creek crossing.
The Tip Top team brings with it some pretty heavyweight sponsors, and last year they were tipped to be the top team when it came to fundraising. However, they were pipped at the post by a rival syndicate who pulled out a six-figure corporate cheque at the last minute, proving that on the day they'd raise more dough. Undaunted, the team used their loaf and the intervening year to find extra ways of making bread, and now they're back stronger than ever.
We've actually raised $127,500 this year, which is a pretty good effort. It's the best we've ever raised, and that brings our total up in the years of the Bash Bakers going to approximately $500,000 that we've raised. In terms of fundraising, there is one left for us, and that's the biggest corporate fundraiser. And yes, we'd very much like to win that, and that's what our goal has been this year.
And what do you reckon your chances are?
Pretty good at the moment.
If I was a guessing man, I'm saying that collectively the Bashers are holding back something in the order of 100,000.
Yeah.
So it's that middle group which sort of like to come out of the woodwork every now and then and sting us rather than us sting them is where the money's hiding, I guess.
Each day we get a feel for who's in and who's not in.
Yeah, a couple of times I think those that would be arriving at the right checkpoint for us to get some money out of have had their own mechanical problems out on the road.
Yeah, that's
got
true.
in late and we've missed them because not because we haven't had a checkpoint.
Actually, what about Rocky? He's got something hidden in that truck somewhere.
A big truck of his.
It could be true. We do have another cheque for $3,000 that we raised at Grafton in the cavalcade of trucks. And as it's one large cheque, we want to use this rather wisely.
Let's have a look down here.
We really took this bash through regional Australia, not so much outback Australia. So I wondered how the bashers would react to that. And I think you can take these people anywhere and they would have a ball. That is the nature of them, that's the commitment they give. They don't come along to be unhappy, they come along to be happy. And when people are in that mode, in that frame of mind, you could go almost anywhere. They will enjoy what they do, they'll enjoy your company and each other's.
Anyone else want some cheese and Becky's?
I was delighted with the reaction to the bash, to the roads we took. We put some challenges in there for them, hill climbs and up through the Banu forest, and the beach start at Yeppoon was just sensational.
Before everyone goes, this is one of our last big opportunities to get some money out of the bashers, try and get that total up over $1.1 million. Net funds raised for variety. So let's sting them for everything they've got, if they've got anything left.
Thank you, Peter.
We're rolling, boys.
Look at this. Look at the helicopter coming towards us. Unbelievable. Oh, let's open up the big beast. Let's stretch your legs. There's a helicopter outside window.
There's some people up ahead here. I think this is where we turn off the beat. Slowing down. Slowing down.
317, slowing in behind Thomas.
Look out, we're coming up here, Gordy. Boys up there, stay on the hard sand. The Merc's gone down. What's the time, Rocky?
888, it's 13. Do you guys know where to get some fuel?
This is Rocky and Thomas. We're off the beach.
This car's built for speed, except for the motor.
Well, originally a guy by the name of Stewie Telfer called me and Peter Gabriel from Newcastle Speedway and said, can you guys come up with $5,000 each? We're going in a variety club bash.
13 years ago, Stuart Telfer saw a TV documentary on the bash and it changed his life. He knew he was hooked and immediately set about building a car and raising the entry fee. 12 years later, he's still doing it, and so is the car. The original theme featured a checkered flag motif from his Speedway days. Now the team extols the virtues of Sydney water.
Hey Lance, we're catching up to Jason here. He wanted some water. We got some water?
I've just got one out of the catchment area.
Right, good on you, mate.
Hey Jason, we got that water for you.
Thanks for the water, boys. Sydney water, boys.
You're welcome. Carry on.
Thank you.
We have a sort of a dummy water leak in the car that gets people's attention. They all think we've got a hold radio. That's worked. That creature. Everybody's rushing over with chewing gum and things like that to help you plug your radiator hole until they find out, like they've been goosed.
The Water Boys have a well-established fundraising calendar, and for them, the bash is a way of life.
You can't walk away from it. Once you've got into it, been involved, play once a year for a week with all these guys, it's part of your life. It does become part of your life. It's a lot of hard work. It's not just turn up at the start and go, because we all work for employers, so we don't have company checks to be able to support our habit.
We have 4 main fundraisers during the year to help us get here and have the fun in the outback and meet the kids. Our rock and roll night, our bus trips away. We have a fantastic following. A lot of bashers also support us, but our main support group are our wives and our family. And for the girls back home, we've got a message just for you. As we drive in the outback, the setting sun. Hope you appreciate that one. Not only that we wanted to say that, but we have another message that we really mean, and we know that you'll appreciate that. But it's not just our wives that look after us, it's our respective employers. And for those companies, this is our message to you.
One reason why the Water Boys have survived as a team for so long is their resistance to the dreaded cabin fever, the downfall of many a good team on the bash. They share equally in the fundraising and all are expected to help build and maintain the vehicle. And when it comes time to go bashing, they regularly rotate the driving so everybody gets a fair go.
I've enjoyed my little stint. See you later. This is Drip 1, Stuart Telfer.
G'day Bash fans, I'm Alan Edworthy.
Hi Bashers, Lance Wilson here. I'm Drip 2, just about to take over the afternoon stint. I really love the afternoon stints on the bash. I love the sun blaring in my face, the dust, the dirt.
If the dust picks up, boys, we'll go to the bandanas now.
Bandanas on?
Yeah. What we're trying to do here is avoid getting bash throat. We don't mind getting a lump in the throat when we can help out the kids, but we don't like that bash throat too much.
Where's this place? Where do you guys live? Where?
Your
Oh, thank you. I couldn't hear from it then. Who wants some goodies?
Oh,
was one of our entertainment devices that we talked about earlier. It was just a small group of several hundred bashers who've stopped at a roadside meeting, and we just thought we'd liven up the party.
Put your head up the sky like that, look at the lovely ribbon, turn around 20 times at your own pace, throw it on the ground and jump over.
The name of this school, is it Calliope? Just how do you guys say it?
Calliope.
What do you say, Lance?
Calliope.
Well, I reckon it's Gallipo. How do you say it?
Calliope.
Righto, guys. Well, there's Gamer Pile, everyone. Hi, Gamer.
Hi, Gamer.
How are you? We're all right. That'll look good.
We might leave town with a bang.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Are we armed?
We're armed and dangerous. It's time to say goodbye, everyone. See you!
Inevitably, the bash draws towards a conclusion at its ultimate destination of Broadbeach on Australia's Gold Coast. The fun stops are all finished. The last bribes have been collected and tallied, and now the final few kilometres are being driven.
Hi everyone, here, just all bash cars. Just follow the bash car in front. We're being directed by the police where to go, over.
There was a plan. There actually was a plan to parade right through the middle of Surf's Paradise through the Gold Coast Highway. That was changed by the police, and probably for very good reason, I'm sure. But it caught us by surprise.
To the radio traffic, this is everyone here. Chaz, looks like you're in control now, over.
As usual, I'll direct Joe if you wish.
Thanks, mate. I knew I could put someone at the front that can take control of this.
So yeah, it was frustrating, but on reflection, that's the bash. I mean, you know, it happens.
Chaz, we just got OV1 pushing in up the front here. OV1, few manners, please.
Sorry, guys, I've got delusions of adequacy.
We have this great saying on the bash: don't take it too seriously, and don't take yourself too seriously. And that's good advice to the bash director as well.
Welcome to Broadbeach. Good job.
We had some absolutely brilliant days and we had some horrible days as well, but it's all part of the fun and we're glad we did it.
Happy. I'm all cooked out.
Feeling good and fresh.
Bashed.
This is our ninth consecutive bash in this car, which has done 12 altogether. It started all 12 and it's finished all 12 unscathed, and I think that's fantastic.
Had a fabulous time, raised over $100,000, gave satellite equipment out to about 14 schools along the way to give them high-speed internet, and we had a blast, and we'll be back bigger next year.
Bash builders. Everyone, come on.
Well, it's quite emotional because a lot of these people are friends of mine. Over 11 years I've come to know them quite well. And as I said, it's like an extended family, and to know it's finishing, yeah, it's a little bit emotional. Yeah, it's sort of like a lot of hugging and handshaking and, you know, kissing. That's just the guys, you know. And then with the no, it is. It's a nice feeling, but it's great.
Here's the temperance.
After all the miles that we've done, driving across that checkpoint was just probably the best thing that we could experience.
The bash is almost over for another year, but there's just enough time for one last celebration. The night of nights that the bashers have all been looking forward to.
Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the party.
This is where their fundraising efforts are recognised and rewarded in front of their peers. And for one lucky team, a bonus prize just for entering the bash, a brand new Ford utility.
Hello, I'm Natasha Belling in the 10 Sydney newsroom, and the winner is bash car number 101.3.
And the winner of the Perseverance Trophy goes to 0.25, the Goggamobile.
When we walked into that room and it just erupted, it was just unbelievable. Very overwhelming and humbling.
There's a couple of things you can say. Why would they get that award? One, the little Goggamobile doesn't make great headway, but they did it in this great spirit.
I went to turn the key off and the car kept on running.
There's these two special people in this funny little car turning up everywhere and just making everyone feel very good about themselves, let alone about the team in the Goggamobile.
And the winner of the Spirit of the Bash for the year 2001 is cars 660 and 770 Pirates.
Wherever we went to a school or a hospital, there they were, in their full pirate regalia, wowing and entertaining the children.
All done. G'day, mate. I like you.
And Spirit of the Bash is voted on by the bashers themselves. So I think that's a wonderful thing, that the bashers themselves thought that these were worthy of that wonderful award.
Thanks, bashers, for voting for us. You've got no idea how thrilled we all are. I mean, we've put in a bit of effort, but to come away with this award, we're just absolutely delighted.
And I'm very, very pleased to announce that tonight that the winner of the Chairman's Cup non-corporate goes to car 2400 from Moree.
Lee, Myrna and Catherine raised their money from their community. They had hundreds and hundreds of little donations going on and little functions, and they got their whole town involved, and that effort produced over $35,000 for Variety, and this is their first year.
The winner of the B2B Cup Award goes to Tip Top, car 1.1, 59 and 680.
When the announcement was, I know I was sitting next to Gordon and we just about grabbed each other and yelled and screamed. But it means a lot to the team itself and particularly our sponsors, because really that helps us raise the next lot of funds for next year.
I had a fair indication that these guys were going to be our highest fundraisers, and they had one hand on that cup all year.
We actually don't come to win these awards. All our fundraising, in fact, is what that notice up there says. It is for the kids, and that's really what we do it for. But as an aside, we do have a hell of a lot of fun too.
The gross dollar raised is over $2 million.
That's one of our best results in over a decade. And we're very proud of that, because we know the effect that has on how many wheelchairs you can buy and sunshine coaches.
I think the bash really reflects, I think, the Australian attitude to helping out people, the underdog, if you wish, and it gives them the opportunity to express themselves the way really only Aussies can express themselves, and that is with a bit of fun and a bit of humour, yet having the same humility to put out that hand of friendship and support to people who really need it.